Thank you to everyone watching for tuning into the video, and I'm really sad and ashamed that I'm having to make this video. As a Manchester United fan and season ticket holder, I'm absolutely ashamed and embarrassed by our owners. This is an attack on football. It's a mindless Americanisation of the sport by our greedy thieves of owners. They've got no interest whatsoever in the game, just their own pockets. This is aimed at foreign football fans at the expense of those who have built up these clubs into what they are now. The people of Milan, the people of Turin, the people of Madrid, people of Barcelona, and most importantly, the people of Manchester. The people who worked on the railway and initially founded this club. The people who since then, through generation after generation, have supported the club through promotions, relegations, financial issues, when Manchester United in particular almost went bankrupt, the people who stepped in to support the club, and the people who through their own personal circumstances have kept loyal to United, have had their backs have been turned on brutally by the Manchester United owners and the owners of every single Super League club with this statement, with this setting up of this brand new competition. All they're doing here is creating meaningless exhibition matches which are going to be played every week with no relegation, so there's nothing to play for, no incentives to invest for the owners, no incentives to do well. This is embarrassing. We see already with the Champions League, when we qualify for the Champions League versus when we don't. When we don't qualify, the owners' net spend is double in transfer windows compared to when we do qualify. And when they're guaranteed income from the European Super League and they know they can't be relegated, they're guaranteed to be in it. We know they're not going to invest. The owners are going to continue to neglect the club. They're going to continue to let Old Trafford rot, let things rust, let the electronic turnstiles continue not to work. They're going to continue to treat United as a cash grab, take money out of it, not see football as a sport, see it as merely a business. This is embarrassing. What they're doing is creating friendlies every week, which are completely meaningless. They mean nothing. They're insignificant. They're soulless to every football fan. Because the joy of the Champions League, the magic of these competitions comes from the draw. You know, you play PSG in the group stages like we did this season. That doesn't happen every season. You end up getting far in the Champions League and you want to have these glamour ties against Barca and Real Madrid. But you accept that you've got to do well to get them. Not just guaranteed them because of, the owners have signed up to something. You don't want to be in that situation where you're playing these big matches every week because you lose the novelty, you lose the enjoyment, you lose what's special about these big matches and about football. When these big matches get taken abroad as well, which is almost definitely going to happen, the American owners are going to want these games played in the States to try and increase the market share in the States, play them in Asia as well. You're ripping football away from its roots, away from the local communities that have built the sport, built the game, built these super clubs into what they are today. Without fans, football is nothing. And what this is doing is taking football away from the proper fans into people who, quite frankly, don't care about the clubs. I mean, they're tourists who want to go and see the club. And fair play to a lot of foreign fans who do genuinely care about the club. It's taking the football away from them as well. It's taking football away from those people who want to see the club succeed but care about the wider game. All it does, it supports the franchising of these Super League clubs to becoming global giants. They'll play in Miami, they'll play in Atlanta, they'll play in Georgia, wherever in the USA, wherever around the world. But it's taking football away from the local communities, stealing its soul and ripping it out at its very heart. It's an insult to the game, to the sport, and to every single football fan, especially of one of these 12 Super League clubs. Beyond that, look at the efforts we've made this season. Every time Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the coaching staff, the players, the analysts, the physios have put themselves on the line, they've worked harder than they needed to make sure that United players and the coaching staff and the game plans were ready for that next game. It's all irrelevant. We've not won the league. We're not going to win the league. We may even get kicked out at this point. But we've not qualified for the Champions League. But it's irrelevant because we don't need to anymore. We're in this Super League. So competing for top four, it's irrelevant. Everything they've done this season doesn't matter. Every time we've said to Marcus Rashford or Bruno Fernandes, you play even though you're injured because we need to qualify for the Champions League. All that for what? For nothing. We've sacrificed the long-term health of our players, the future of these players for their countries, for what? For money to get in the Champions League. But even then, it's irrelevant because these owners have gone behind the backs of everyone at these clubs. Sir Alex Ferguson did not know about this. The owners have gone behind the backs of everyone at these clubs to do something disgraceful and sign up for this European Super League, which the fans are against, everyone at the clubs are against. Jurgen Klopp, full credit to him. I'm not a Liverpool fan, I'm a United fan. But full credit to Jurgen Klopp. He's come out and said he's not for the Super League. He's not happy with it. He's fully against it. And I hope the other players, other managers at other clubs have the balls to do the same thing. It's a disgrace. It's embarrassing from everyone that signed up to it. And we've got to say no to these greedy American owners. Look at Bayern Munich and Dortmund. The way they've come out and dealt with this, they've said they don't want to be a part of this. They want to stay in the Champions League and be part of a reformed Champions League. That's happened because they've got 51% fan ownership in Germany. So mutant owners like these, tyrants like these, cannot suddenly decide to take the club away from the fans and do their own thing. We need that in the UK. We've not had it, and we've not had it around Europe. Fair play to Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, the other German clubs and PSG for not getting involved in this nonsense. Full respect to them for not getting drawn into this. The Premier League, they're the ones that have allowed these owners to take over, and they're now getting kicked in the teeth, as was always going to happen. When the Super League happens, clubs will have two squads. They'll have an elite squad for the Super League, and they'll have an average squad, a development squad, if you like, that they play in the Premier League, because the money is in the Super League. Why would you risk your players getting injured in the Premier League and in domestic competitions when the Super League provides all of the money? And that's where the viewers are. Domestic football, as we know it, is dying. In fact, this may be the time football has died. Domestic football may be over now. Think of all those other clubs in the Premier League, the West Hams, the Leicesters, the great footballing stories. David Moyes' success with West Ham this season, Leicester winning the Premier League. That's all irrelevant now. It doesn't matter. All of that stuff is basically being kicked out because of the wishes of a few greedy owners to take football as a sport, remove the sporting nature, and treat it just as a business. It's embarrassing. As a United fan, I will be cancelling my season ticket. I will not be spending any more money on the club if this goes ahead. It's an embarrassment. I hope that United fans are able to protest this, and in general, football fans are able to protest this. I hope the UK government is able to step in and stop this from happening. And beyond that, I hope we're able to get rid of these owners that have become a scourge on the sport. It's an absolute disgrace that it's come to this, but football really will never be the same again, and we must never forget what these owners have tried to do. Not just bleeding the club dry, treating fans as customers, letting Old Trafford rot, but that isn't enough for them. They're taking football as a sport away from the local communities and treating it now as some sort of global enterprise, some sort of global venture, entertainment, taking away the sporting nature. Removing relegation as a possibility, it's embarrassing. Having 5 clubs that qualify every year but for this Super League, but even then, the revenue stream is so far against them. Even if they get into this European Super League, the money, the structure of the revenue split is so heavily done against those clubs that they can never catch up. And put it this way, if the same club gets into the European Super League for multiple years, it will just be like what happens in the Bundesliga, where buy and buy everyone. Their good players will be gone. Football is dead. That is the reality. That is the truth. I'm ashamed and embarrassed that I've had to make this video, but it's the truth. Thank you for watching, and if you're still here with me, please do drop a like, do subscribe, and let me know what content we can create that isn't United related, because with the way this is going, I don't want to have anything to do with the club anymore. So please do let me know what we can create, what we can do in the future. But for me, that's it. I'm embarrassed and ashamed of Manchester United, of the 12 Super League clubs, and of all these owners, especially Florentino Perez and the Americans, that have taken football away from what it is.